Or opinions expressed on this program are those of the guest callers and do not necessarily reflect those of the host, advertisers, and affiliate stations. Search discretion is advised. Heard on 50-plus stations across the internet and on brick-and-mortar radio. Stream to every continent on the planet.
I don't have stage 4 cancer. Somebody else has stage 4 cancer.
Media universe.
I'm sure.
Many have tried to
Yeah,
bring
this.
him down, and he is.
Oh, you're going to go next year.
Yeah, that makes me
You're going to go next year if we go. And we're also going to take Jay just to see her head explode.
In a t-shirt for the first time.
Here we go. We are going to do this. We're going to boot the opening, and we're going to go to the top of the hour. It is the world famous Jiggy Jaguar radio broadcast. Derek Scaife, the man, the myth, the legend, is here.
lying to people.
Michael
Just
Nasty in the
I don't
building.
like the Nessie or whatever.
We've got Thug Nasty herself, Jay Bird Wells, and we've got the fantastic Britannia, or as I should say, Brotanya, and then we've got Mr. John Mosier, and we're gonna talk. First of all, we have to go to Skype here and see if we can pull up our Glamazon. Tyomi. Tyomi. Oh, Tyomi. She is fantastic. She is a perv magnet among perv magnets. So we are going to see if we can pull her up. If we can't get her on the Skype-a-rooney, we're going to talk about Gathering of the Juggalos and come back to Tyomi later. Tyomi. Oof.
That's something you don't need to know about.
A little bit later on in the world, we will. Okay, well, she is not picking up, so let's do this. Let's talk about the Gathering of the Juggalos.
We could do a whole segment.
We could do an entire
That's
show
right. You two
on
could,
this. Well, first of all, let's do this. At the beginning of the day, we made the executive decision we were going to go pick up Mr. Michael Gooseby. So we picked up Mr. Michael Game, and myself and Mr. Nagy headed on down the highway. And when we got to when we picked up Michael, he explained to us that apparently he has stage 4 cancer. Now I'm sitting here going, "Wow, that's pretty heavy." He's turning it into a comedy bit. So he starts telling me about how he's going to be the oldest Make-A-Wish kid on the face of the planet. He is gonna get everything that he's ever always wanted in his life because he has stage 4 cancer. So, and then he tells me later that he's decided he's gonna change his name to Stage 4. So, we go down the road. We end up at a Casey's in Oklahoma. And everybody decided to go in, get drinks. Of course, I did what I classically do, which is I got free shit. So I walked in with an empty brisk iced tea bottle that I had, and I just walked up to the fountain, and I filled it up with water, and then I walked out. Then I went and washed my hands, then I walked out. I don't want to make it that suspicious. And then we headed down the road, and we got to Oklahoma. We were in Oklahoma, and then all of a sudden, the GPS wants us to go down a road that is closed. So we drove around for what seemed like 45 minutes to try to get rerouted so we could get to the other side of the street. We show up at the Gathering of the Juggalos. We pull up to this box, that's what it was. It was a box. And I got out, went and got my press passes. And then, of course, we did an unraveling video of our press passes. We got little Juggalo guys, and then we got our press passes. And so we pull into the Gathering of the Juggalos, and we get out, and Michael's looking around, and he's like, "This looks like something that is going to be just so ridiculous." Well, he was correct. We ended up going to our first stop, which was a hell of a deal. We go to the merch tent. What is going on here? What are we doing? People fighting with each other? What's going on here? So we end up at the merch tent, And Michael Game walks in, and he proclaims to the people selling merch, "I can't stand Insane Clown Posse," at the top of his lungs. Me and the merch people look at him like, "You are in the wrong neighborhood, my friend. You are in the wrong neighborhood." So then we end up walking along, and we end up bumping into some guy who everybody loves by the name of Mike Busey. Does anybody know who this guy is? This guy named Mike Busey. He apparently has a traveling road show that he does. He was going to be at Rock Island on Wichita, but the promoter didn't pay him.
I wonder why.
Well, the guy that used to play Nova in WWE, that's his name.
Yeah. But this was like, he was like a big fat white guy, looked like the white trash version of Guy Fieri. And then we ended up
That worked.
walking down to a tent where they were holding a seminar with the band, with the artist named Light. Mike Game proceeds to heckle this guy. He heckles him and heckles him and heckles him, and me and Nagy are standing there going, "We are going to get thrown out of here.
I thought it was gonna be
This is going to be the shortest gathering of the Juggalos we've ever attended." And we thought he was legitimately going to get beat up. But then all of a sudden, in the middle of this whole thing, he rushed recruiting followers. There's this guy that comes over and sits next to him and gives him a fist bump and goes, "Brother, I agree with everything you're saying." And I'm like, oh my God, he's going to create his own cult here at the gathering of the Juggalos. Well, then we start down this path trying to find our way around. And and Mike is on, what did he tell us? 5 different substances?
Yeah.
I don't know what they were. One of them must have been cocaine.
I'm probably sure.
He is tripping around, and what's funny is that the Juggalos immediately, I've been to rock concerts, I've been to rap shows, somebody has a problem or falls down, I just kind of look at them. These guys immediately spring up, and they're like, "Is he okay?" And I'm like, "Where the fuck am I?" And so they immediately, then there was a guy that went over and said, "Hey, you could come hang out with us." So he went over and hung out with these guys, was drinking beer and having a good time. We walked back down to the Light seminar because we're supposed to do an interview with the guy. We get down there. It's chaos. We don't get the interview, so then we stick Mike on a trolley. They have 2 trolleys that are going back and forth. And I've rode trolleys before. It's not a big thing. I'm thinking Kansas State Fair. You get on the trolley. You ride it around the fair. Not this fucking trolley. We got on the trolley. And later on, Mike, we decide, okay, we're going to go walk around this fairgrounds. So we're walking around. Well, finally we decide, we're going to get on the trolley.
Yeah, it's 110 degrees.
It's 110 degrees, and my bright idea is, let's get on that trolley. God, I'm an idiot.
Well, you heard him say it first here. You heard him say it first here. He admitted it.
So I get on
That's how you
this
solve problems, by
trolley.
admitting you have one.
I get on this trolley, and we look down and immediately see Mike Game. We're like, "You're still on the trolley?"
Why the hell was he still on the trolley?
He just rode
Know
around
what
the
else to
trolley.
do.
Now, at this point, I notice his white t-shirt is no longer white. And I'm like, what's going on here? And I immediately start thinking,
What color was it?
I am in the wrong neighborhood.
What color was it?
It was like not white anymore.
What color?
It was like a Skittles t-shirt. He had all the colors of the rainbow.
So that should have told you right there to get the fuck off the trolley.
and so all of a sudden we're riding along, and then Michael's just kind of, then a bunch of people jump off, not a big deal, and then we get to this one spot, and all of a sudden out of nowhere we get attacked with mud, probably human feces.
Oh, that's
They
fucked up.
go. They just attacked us like nobody's business. And Michael is sitting there and he's like, "What in the hell is going on?"
Oh, I got my camera equipment, and
so-
I'm so
All of a sudden, I look up at Mike and I go, and he goes, "It's been like this the entire time I've been on this trolley.
So basically, he enjoyed it.
And I immediately look at Michael and I go, thank the Lord above Derek didn't come. He would have been fighting everybody at this thing. He'd have been like, mother...
How about next year when you
And-
Maggie go, I don't go?
You're
I'm
gonna go.
definitely not going.
You're going.
No,
And then, and then in the middle of this whole
I'm
thing,
definitely not going.
You are
Michael
gonna have
is driving, we're driving this trolley, and all of a sudden Michael goes, I think I got a rock in my eye.
I had all mud all
And
on
I'm
me.
like, oh my God, where did we come to?
You know what? That sounds. You know what? To me, this sounds like one of them parties that happen at city limits when the
This
thing
sounds
going
like
on.
hell.
It sounds like the pussy to penis ratio was off balance and there was more dicks there, so dickish things happened.
I can guarantee you
Everyone
that's
was just
what it
dumping.
was.
Everyone, they would just walk up to you, just dump.
Like I said, it sound like the dick to pussy ratio
So
was
then
way off.
then a little bit later on, the trolley stops, and this, you're gonna love this. This black perv magnet jumps on with her husband, and she's standing there, and Mike's like, "See, look." So then he starts talking to her about how he starts saying sexual things that I can't get into on regular radio to her, and so then we find out that her husband is with her. And he's like, oh, dog, it's fine. We all family at this event.
Yeah.
And immediately Michael looks at me and goes, these don't look like any of my family. So,
Yeah, family art.
and then I'm kind of standing there and I'm like,
What he
you
was
know,
saying is sharing is caring.
all of a sudden I looked at Michael and I go, thank God Jay didn't come either.
Jay
Because
would
if
Jay would have
she-
loved to see all the
If she would,
swangers.
oh my God, she would have got covered in so many substances, human and otherwise. She would have been jumping up and down, going, "I'm supposed to be a princess." It would have been the craziest thing you would have ever seen.
They would have said, "Yeah, you're the princess of our party." Congratulations.
So then all of a sudden we end up over at
Yeah, I'm never going.
we
I'm not.
end up at the main
It's an
stage.
experience.
You guys are gonna have
Just
to
don't take the
drug
trolley.
me and
Hey, they gotta tell you you're going somewhere else.
throw me in the trunk.
Yeah,
Get
I
me
don't-
there.
We end up at the main stage.
Because I'm not going.
And all of a sudden, we start seeing some of the craziest things we've ever seen in our lives.
I've been there before, and I don't want to ever go.
It is.
I'm not an insane
nuts.
clown posse person anyway,
I'm
so
not either.
so I mean, just as idiot shit that they be doing, and from what you hear on the news, it just kind of like a turnoff. Like,
This one was tame. From what you were saying.
yeah, that's what I hear because I heard the other one that was where was it, in Indiana or some shit. I heard
Indiana,
that shit went.
Chicago.
I heard that shit got kicked out because it was just fucking just. That's when y'all thought y'all was trying to entice me to go, and y'all was just like pussy, just walking around everywhere. Just
It was.
all hanging out, just don't care, but not the kind that I would want to see.
Okay, here's where and John, you're gonna love this because I said this earlier. Brittany has a problem with low self-esteem. I'm gonna make that known right now.
Don't sound like it. Not from what I ever read.
So after I seen some of these Juggalo women walking around, I'm like, man, I miss Brittany. So
Well, here's the deal. The only way you're ever gonna get me to go
Is
is
if
if you drug me and throw me in the trunk, and I am not conscious until we get there.
you would have
No.
You would have
Make a
enjoyed the
trade.
show.
Make a
I think
trade.
You would have.
Open your mind. That's the only way you're gonna get me to go. Tit for tat trade.
That's not gonna happen.
So that means you're not gonna go.
You do realize that I'm gonna have to borrow a camera just so I can like film that, right?
So we continue on. Well, Nagy finally goes over and gets the rocks out of his eye. He goes to every water thing he can. Gets all the rocks out of his eyes. Well, then we go over and we notice that Mike Game has made a new friend. He sat down next to these two fat chicks, and he's like talking to them. And they're talking to him. And I'm like, okay.
Well, Mike was saying he's been into hairy BBWs lately.
Hairy, big,
Mike
beautiful
Game.
women.
Yes.
So all of a
Big
sudden,
bad bitches.
all of a
No,
sudden,
you're right at the first one, sir.
you're right with the first one, sir.
Yeah, he's like, hey, man, I've been surfing that when he was trying to get in with James and I that one night that he came.
I don't know nothing about that. Let's leave that off the air.
That was that big nose.
Let's leave that off the
I don't
air.
know nothing about that.
Cause yeah,
So we end up back over at this. We end up at the main stage. Well, what's funny is before we end up meeting up with some chick, some perv, from FagoLovers.net. You remember her, the dominatrix looking chick?
oh, that was right up your fucking alley.
All of a sudden she goes, these guys start coming towards her, and she goes, "Ah, it's my JCW bros." And Michael's like, JCW? What the hell's JCW?
Juggalo Championship Wrestling.
And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I see someone, and I don't know why. My brain had been fried by this point. Otherwise, I would have stopped and interviewed the guy and took a picture and marked out. But I bumped in to the one and the only Madman Pondo.
Oh, really?
And he was with them, and I'm like, holy shit, it's Madman Pondo.
And you know right now, Zombie Jones is just popping a woody and jacking off to that. Oh my God, Madman Pondo. Oh yeah.
No idea.
I have no idea what the hell they're talking about.
So we're
explain it
walking
to you.
along, and then
Must
all
be
of a
wrestling.
sudden,
It is.
we
I know nothing about wrestling.
Me neither.
we bump into this chick.
Whatever.
And I had seen her
I
earlier
only
in
know
the
local
week.
stuff.
She had won the wet t-shirt contest
Oh,
out
no,
there,
like
and I'm
Hogan
like,
and
oh my God, it's
Freaking like Ultimate Warrior. So I'm lost.
No, he's totally different. Don't worry. I'll explain it
so
to you.
so.
I don't know what I even.
Okay, Madman Pondo actually knows how to wrestle, but he does more what they
Let's
call
go back
per
to
se.
that T-shirt.
Hey, take it easy. We listen to your questions on cups of tea and stuff. Let me finish this. Okay, you already? You know, in 10 years, where do you see yourself besides being 10 years older and stuff? Thank you for having the sense of humor, because you usually give me the more evil look. But no, Madman Pondo does what they call garbage wrestling a lot. So that means they use no, they just don't really wrestle. They use a lot of props, a lot of things that like.
Garbage pans. And
Well, to a point, but it's called garbage wrestling because, I mean, basically you do that when you can't actually wrestle and get a crowd, you know, to come see you.
Oh.
And the thing is, he himself could get a crowd to come see him, but a lot of the people he has to work with suck so bad that they have to do that. So, and he makes really good money doing it, but that's where I'm saying that's probably the reason you've never heard of him, because he's a very niche thing. It's kind of like his, you know, gothic punk kind of stuff.
Man,
It's like somewhat niche, you know.
You know, with me and wrestling, I just don't have no thrill to see a bunch of men walk around in some fucking tights all day.
Whatever, don't lie, Derek.
It ain't. I mean, it ain't like it used to be. You know, like when you had Undertaker, people that actually dressed up in costume. Now it's just a bunch of dudes oiled up and some speedos with no peckers. No peckers.
I don't really look at that part there.
No,
Derek.
you
I mean,
just can't,
come on now.
dude. You just cannot notice a oiled up dude walking in some damn tight ass. It's like a man walking around in what's some things that you used to wear back in the day? Biker shorts.
Mankeens?
First thing when you notice a person's walking around in mankini, what's the first thing you damn near notice if you notice anything? The area, and it's just it's kind of like a woman when she walk around in some thong. First thing you gonna notice is
I'm sorry, man. The first thing I see is the eyes. I don't know about you, man, but
I don't know.
Speaking of the area,
I noticed the nose, which is
where
probably
we
weird.
end up at the main stage, and all of a sudden, where Michael game is just falling all over the place, and so finally we sit him down somewhere, and then this guy stumbles in between us, and he reaches out and he puts his hand on the tree. And we're like, what the hell's he doing? And he pulls his hog out and starts peeing on this tree.
so by hog, what do you mean, James?
See? Yeah,
So-
and y'all just said
And
something
so
to me.
all of a sudden, Michael Nagy there goes, I got to get a photo of this. And then he goes, why do I want to get a photo of this? And so...
Because you thought he was getting head because he was leaning on a tree. That's what it was. He's like, I'm going to get a free porn to put on my thing. Oh, shit, it's just a penis.
So then I spy with my little eye the chick who won the wet t-shirt contest on Wednesday, And I'm
You
like,
made a mistake of letting Mike Game interview.
I gotta go talk to her. So I go and talk to her. Well, then I made the mistake of let Mike Game interview her, and then it went downhill from there.
He probably got beat up, smacked.
No,
wanted to be.
she just really was uncomfortable and didn't want to talk to him anymore. So
Because
then,
he was probably trying to hit on her, talk nasty, dirty stuff.
I think so. And then
I'm professional.
we end up going over by the stage, and they are throwing everything you can think of. They are throwing Fago. They're shooting people with water guns.
Yeah, that
We
don't
want
even,
nothing
that
to
place
do
don't
with
even
this.
sound
They're
fun.
launching fireworks.
That don't even sound
They
fucking
start
fun.
launching fireworks right before ICP comes out, and
that-
security is standing over there in the photo pit with me, and they're like, let me tell you something. If those fireworks start coming this way, I'm running. And I told them, I said, I will be right behind you.
Hey man, you know what, that don't even sound fun. That's like when I grew up back in the day, was young. We used to have what they call Roman candle fights.
This is basically what they were doing.
But we all acknowledged that we was a part of the Roman candle fight. So it wasn't like a surprise. Y'all was in a surprise Roman candle fight. Like you wasn't in it, you wasn't involved, you didn't know. All of a sudden, pew, 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 pew.
Okay, in the middle of this show, when POD's getting ready to play, Mike Game falls asleep over where he's at. He wakes up to somebody attempting to steal his shoes.
How the fuck? No, but how the fuck can you fall asleep in an event like with all this shit going on?
He was out of his
Like
mind.
me
You gotta feel
personally,
safe to
my
fall
spider
asleep.
senses would have been on high fucking alert, man. My spider senses would have been like, this is not your Nelmer neighborhood.
So all of a sudden he wakes up and he goes, "You're really doing this?" And the guy goes, "Yeah."
Really? Fucking right in his forehead.
And so then all of a sudden Mike retreats to this high loader. He's sitting in this high loader. So then me and Michael go back to the stage a little bit later on. Well, then we tried to get an interview with this light character. Well, they refused to let us get on the golf cart with him. They would come by and pick us up, but we had to walk all the way around. So we walked all the way around. The guy never showed up.
They punked you.
So
You was punked.
then we get back over there.
Did they have, what's his name? They used to do the show Punked. The one white guy, tall.
No, there was
Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher.
no.
Yeah.
Oh God, no, he wouldn't be anywhere near this event. And
be-
so then, so
Yeah.
oh, you're going next year.
No.
Personally drop
I'm gonna
you,
send
knock
you.
over
I'm
the
gonna.
head,
I'm gonna
put
get
you in
the.
trunk.
You got
Work-
work for the family.
What?
I'm not taking one for the team. Back
We are gonna send you and Jay
You're gonna
and
take
Maggie, and you guys are all gonna go.
No.
You're gonna have fun.
Hey, look at the bright side is. He said there was a bunch of black penises hanging around and pussies.
There was.
just
there was.
hanging all out. Just right there. Just all out.
So,
I don't want to go.
well then.
I mean that was kind of
Hold
persuasive.
on. We haven't got to the best part of this. Well, the best part of it was when we got attacked. But that's.
You got attacked.
I've had a shower and we're done. So
Did they have showers on deck there?
no,
Oh shit.
you had to
Swim in the
basically swim in the lake.
What? Huh? In a what?
In a lake.
Probably where everybody been pissing at.
Yes.
Oh, that's so disgusting. That is so fucking. That is so damn. That sounds like a fucking Renaissance festival. Like, but not like.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Renaissance people are more
That's-
honest.
Sounds like a
No,
Renaissance
but I'm just
festival.
saying, like, not like the festival, but like the Renaissance times. Just put it like that. Sound like the Renaissance times. Like,
I'm not
Well,
going to
okay.
the gathering of
So
the Juggalos ever.
we go ahead and we go
Yeah,
back.
I'm not going.
We go back to find Mike Game. Okay, now at this point, they're starting to throw volleyballs and blown up cheeseburgers. Like volleyballs that look like cheeseburgers, and they're throwing them in the crowd. So we go back and we go find Mike Game. Well, now he's procured another friend. She's in the high loader with him. And he's like rubbing her leg. And then at one point she gets up and leaves. And he said, well, I rubbed her leg and then I put some fingers in some places. And I said, oh, well.
Smell my finger.
She wasn't bad looking, but I didn't.
No, but I'm just saying.
I thought about it, but I didn't.
She probably went
But,
there. Hey, what's that one? What's that one girl you used to say about here? The one you told me stories about. She like let him get her aroused and then go finish with somebody else. Probably fucked up.
So in the middle of this whole thing, we go back over there, and everybody is getting ready for POD.
So does that sound like fun, Jay? Does that sound like fun now? No. See, look.
Michael decides he sees backstage they're pulling in all these things of Faygo. And I looked at him, and he's kind of like, well, it's just Faygo.
That sounds like...
So then later on, we find out they're going to pour this on the crowd. So all of a sudden, ICP gets ready to play, and everybody piles down into the damn photo pit, and they're all covered from head to toe in plastic.
Fuck no.
And Michael is like, I'm not doing this for
Hell
you.
no.
And he's like, I'm going to get 2 songs at most before they start. Well, they started in the middle of their first song. They had all these ninjas run out. They've got all these Faygos like, all over everybody.
Fuck.
And Michael's like, I'm out. Takes his camera and rolls out.
Man, he got an expensive-ass fucking camera.
So we roll out of
What's
there.
wrong with these people?
No kidding.
We roll out of there and we go pick up Mike Game. Well, Mike Game can't walk.
No.
He's not going to get to the car.
Well, I'm sure he got plenty fucked up.
So we decided, here's what we're going to do. Now, before this all started, at the beginning of the day, he tells us that he is going to use stage 4 cancer to get into free events. He's going to use it to get into all sorts of things.
Did it work?
Son of a bitch, it did.
Oh.
We went down and picked the car up, and we pulled up there. And all of a sudden, this security guy walks over, and he goes, "Where you going?" And Nagy's like, "Our friend, we got to pick him up. He can't walk." And he goes, "What? He disabled or something?" And he goes, "He's got stage 4 cancer." And the guy looks
the
at us.
dude looked like, I know he was like.
And that's the thing. He
didn't know what the fuck to
looks
say.
right at us, and he goes, "Go ahead."
Yeah, he was like,
So
he felt probably
down
stupid.
there,
He probably felt real bad at that point.
and
Y'all are fucking dicks.
Michael stops the car, rolls over there, picks up Mike, and drags him to the car. And then Mike gets in, and I said, "You're never going to believe it." And he goes, "What?" And I said, "Well, we pulled up there, and I explained everything." And Michael goes, and I looked at the guy, and I said, "My friend's got stage 4 cancer." And he says, "I did the hand sign." And he goes, "It worked." And Michael, and Game looks at me, and he goes, "Holy shit, it worked." So then Mike Game is just absurd. This is the thing. So then we roll over to where was it we went? Convenience store to get gas. We're on our way out of there. Well, when we were headed out, the cops were headed in.
That's good.
Holy crap. So we roll in there. We roll out. Well, we go to the convenience store, and Mike Game rolls up there to the counter, and he's like, "You got a Gatorade?" He bought a Gatorade, I bought a pop. He goes, "I'll cover it." And then he goes over there, and he goes, "I want to get some cigarettes, my man," talking to the cashier. Cashier walks over there, and he goes, "Okay, well, here you go." And then Mike looks at him, and he goes, "Sir, you got that on your conscience now." And the guy's like, "What?" And he goes, "I got stage 4 cancer. You're selling me cigarettes." And this guy looks at him and he's like, "Okay." Didn't know what to say. He's turned it into a bit. It's a bit now. I don't know why he turned it into a comedy bit. So me and Michael are just like, this guy's absurd. We don't even know what to say at this point.
But y'all fell along with it. Y'all rode the bus with him, didn't y'all?
We rode the bus with him.
Look at Jay. She like that is just some fucked up shit. Y'all did some shit like that.
My son had cancer, so I don't play that fucking game. I'm sorry.
I don't play that game either.
No, and on the way back to Wichita,
hey, you know what?
That's another thing.
Y'all all aboard the short bus.
Mike Game's telling us, he's like, "You guys
karma.
ought to play that card." And me and Michael look at each other and go, "We don't want that on our conscience. We ain't doing that."
Hey, you know what?
shit.
That's bad karma.
That is bad karma.
You know what? Y'all played along.
So like I said, the biggest thing out of this whole deal was the getting attacked with Faygo. And at one point, what was it? Did somebody launch one at your shoulder?
Oh, yeah, I got hit with us.
He was standing in the photo pit, and this can comes out of nowhere.
That's
Is
fucked up.
full.
See, I would have.
And it collides into his shoulder, and he's like, "I feel like I got."
You would have been fighting with me.
That's right after
You would
I
have been fighting
avoided
with
the
me.
firework.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I would have been fucking fighting.
You guys would have been fighting.
We're fucking done talking. I ain't right.
I probably would have punched Mike.
I would have.
Jay would have got drowned in Fago.
I would have been going back to jail
feces.
in Oklahoma.
I'm telling you right now, you would have been.
Because
Ended up shooting someone. I'm not going.
I'm not. I'm glad I didn't go. There was a reason why I said I'm not going.
Here's the deal.
I offered it to my ex-wife. I said, "Y'all can go with. Y'all can go with him."
Me and Michael simply went for the experience. We've had the experience. We're moving on.
So we're not going next year.
If you want to go, I can get you a media pass and you can go.
Yeah.
And you can take Brittany with you. Oh, and then in the middle of this thing, in the middle of this trolley, there's all of a sudden these little kids out of nowhere.
Kids?
They look like they were.
Their children.
They look like it was like Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. I was waiting for them to find the City of Lights.
You got a bunch of weirdos running around, genitals showing, all this going on, and you bring your kids.
You bring your kids
These
to
are the
this.
same people that are running around showing their genitals and stuff. That bring their goddamn kids.
That is just that's worse than a nudist colony.
Because at one point,
that's worse than a nudist
at
colony.
one point this trolley empties out, and Mike Game's sitting there, and he's like, pulls my shirt, and he goes, "Jiggy, look."
Even if I was that type of person,
and I go,
wouldn't take
"What
my
are
kids
you
to that."
looking at?" And he goes,
Hell no.
"What the hell are their kids doing here?" And Mike's sitting there, and he's like, "You bring children to
And
this?"
the kids were like, "We're old enough."
I've always heard the Gathering of the Juggalos described as hell on earth.
It sounds
It's
like
like being on a different planet.
It was like being on Planet Juggalo.
And I thought it was bad going to a mountain man and accidentally seeing something swinging, so.
No, they was
This
probably.
was insane. And then there was chicks walking around with like body paint, but they were chicks that you really wouldn't want to see body painted.
So their outfits look like a sack of potatoes and shit.
There was this chick who was walking around. Did you see the chick in the black shirt that had the belly button that looked like a garage door? I couldn't believe this woman. She looked. She like had this gut, and she had this belly button that stretched. I could fit a fucking Buick through there. I'm like looking at this, and Michael's like, I can't even take a picture of that. And
I would have, and then I would have posted on the stupidest shit people do. Do you not have no shame?
So was that from like surgeries, or was that just from
I
her
think she
cleavage?
just was that. I think it was just that she was a juggalo, and she just let herself go. And then the tattoos. There was 50 million people with like neck tattoos.
Hey.
I'm like, where do you people work? How did you afford the ticket to get here?
Hey, you know what? Hey, Juggalos. You know what? They probably just all pitched in and bought a group discount or some shit.
And then there was people camping.
Probably did their own. They had their buddy do their tattoo for some drugs. Or
Probably so. Yeah. So their tattoo probably looked like stretch marks and shit.
There was a chick that looked like she had a tattoo, and the tattoo looked like it had been, like somebody had got a hold of her, and they had drawn on it, and then it's like they realized, screw that, and they marked it out and then drew again. I'm like
she was a piece of paper and they had permanent ink.
What is this?
So is this like the hippie thing?
No, not
This was
Juggalos has not ever been a hip thing.
No, like,
ICP has never really been a hip
It's
thing.
a different scene.
What I'm talking about is like the big famous gathering of hippies, like.
No, this is the big famous thing of Juggalos.
Jay, Brittany, explain. You're from this world. Explain to her what the hell this was.
Like this, you know what I'm talking about? Where we always hear about it.
It's not Woodstock.
It's not Woodstock.
It's not Woodstock.
Woodstock on steroids.
No,
it's a
weirdos party.
It's like
It's a weirdos party.
It's a weirdos party.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Woodstock on food stamps.
That's what I just told you.
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
food stamps and drugs.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like everybody there.
Everybody
besides
there is on
Jiggy and
welfare.
Michael probably had a vision card or
Everybody's
something.
on welfare.
You're saying that I would have more fun at the AVN Awards than Juggalos.
And that's
Well,
what.
you
and
see
that,
a higher class of people at
You
the
high,
AV.
you a high class.
and
You know,
at the
that's
end of
different.
this whole thing, me and Nagy and Mike Game on the way back to Wichita all agreed we are safer at the Porn Awards than we are at the Gathering of the Juggalos.
I mean, Jaybird, there are homeless people that refuse to go to the
Hey,
Juggalo
you know what? You know what?
okay?
At least if y'all was at the AVN, what y'all probably would have got a hit with is a silicone dick, not a fucking metal. Oh, I don't even want to finish saying.
They
That's
had a
fucking
guy at
metal.
one point, they had got a hold of some guy's air mattress and they crowd surfed it. And then there was people getting on the air mattress and they were crowd surfing them. They had a guy who, there was a chick, she had gotten on a inflatable shark and they were floating her
You know
through
what
the
that
crowd.
is? That is the trailer park Woodstock. That's what the fuck that is.
No, that's insulting the trailer park people.
Most of the people that are there are couch surfers. People who sleep on different people's couches every
Jeeves.
So
Bums.
So Kenny, right?
Bums.
Kenny, yeah.
Just joking.
There's a difference between
Kenny knows I love him.
coming to visit and sleeping on somebody's
Yeah,
couch.
there's a difference.
But if
Bum.
you continually live
Kenny
in
got bugged
houses
Gathering of
and
the
you
Juggalos
don't
one
have
year.
a house,
That's
You're a
right,
bum.
Eric.
You're a bum. That's what you are. You are technically a bum. A hobo.
Cult Cabana
you have a
there.
house and you're
I think
just coming
so.
to visit and
Then that's
Cole does a
different.
lot
That's
of stuff
different.
with them.
But you going from person to person couch,
was
they get tired of you being
interesting.
on their couch, so you go to the next person's couch, you're a hobo. Except for you're not hopping on trains, you're hopping on couches.
And at the end of this whole thing, Michael's like, I feel like I'm on another planet.
You were.
I feel like I'm on planet Juggalo. He just didn't understand.
BC, before Crystal, I had lots of friends that were into that type of life. And
Yeah, you did say something about that. You was kind of weird a little bit at one point in time.
There was a chick,
We
and
even ask
I
people, what is it all
cut 'em all
about?
off.
And they just say family.
cut them all off.
Do you mean like illegitimate family or crossbred family or?
90% of them off. The ones that just decided to just be
Normal?
worthless were cut off.
But the normal one that decided to be normal, you still...
I'll still talk to. Like the one, every now and then I talk to a friend of mine who
Where's your tablet?
Family.
Where's your tablet?
has a
Family.
house and a life and kids and she takes care of business and she didn't go out and get screwed up.
House for us.
family. That's,
There are very few people that I talk to, very few, that were in the Juggalo lifestyle
That you still associate
that I
with?
still associate with. And that's because they got out of it too.
and what's funny is the PR guy, when I went to go get our passes at the beginning, I said, hey, I bet you're having fun. And he goes, yep, our office is off-site, and I don't have to deal with any of that crap. And so I'm like, this comes from the PR office.
I mean, it was chaotic. We couldn't even get interviews with the bands because it was too
It was
chaotic.
just insane.
We
We
set
were
it up with their managers. And
we would talk to managers. They would like not know what to do. I bumped
I
into
mean,
Ken.
there's another term for this. It's called gathering of the dumbasses, but
It sounds like just a bunch of fake fucking chaotic just craziness.
It just was craziness. I told Michael at one point, I said, this is a shitstorm. This is a shitstorm.
It was a shitstorm.
And,
it's insulting shitstorms too.
and I'll tell you, when we were on that frickin' trolley and they attacked us,
I would have been gone.
I was sitting there thinking, my God, if Jay was here, she just had a heart attack. Her head would have exploded. She'd have been like, I got pop in my hair. Oh my God, it would have been just insane. She'd have been like, who does that? And it's like,
I think
They
I'd
do.
rather have pop in my hair than shit on me.
it was insane. And
Well,
we
if they pay
knew,
right, I mean, you know.
we knew the minute that they would have
Just
attacked us, you would have jumped off that thing and beat their ass.
Yeah,
And what's
oh,
funny is after they attacked us, all the juggalos that were on there were just like, yeah, family,
Oh,
family.
fuck no.
And then at one point, some guy with a water gun shot somebody while we were driving, and they all stopped. And they're like, hey, dude, what are you doing?
What the fuck?
And I'm like,
Water, but pop and whatever else, we're family. But water to clean you off, you're the fucking devil.
They almost jumped off that thing and tried to hunt that guy down. They stopped the trolley. These guys were like, "Hey, dude, not cool, not cool."
In a discussion.
What?
That's in a discussion. Water is bad. Pop, shit, piss, whatever else is good. Mud,
rocks,
rock. You know what?
Shoot me with some fireworks.
I think there's some places on this earth I'm going to go interview.
That right there, just I don't understand.
Well, what's funny is Michael started asking some of the different people that were there. He was like, "Well, how does this compare to some of the other ones in the past? I've never been. You know, I want to know." And they were like, "Well, there's a lot of undercover cops here, and they're not letting anybody be nude, and nobody's allowed to have sex in public, and this is just kind of lame."
What the?
And I'm like,
Oh my God. I had so much fun.
and Michael, every time they did this, Michael would just stand there and he would just laugh. And he had this look on his face like, "I'm nervous as hell. Get me the hell out of here." And so
Yeah,
We had so much more fun in education yesterday than you guys did.
well, we got an education.
We were definitely safer.
We got an education.
Get up there and sit.
I don't know if I don't know if the education was much of a.
You know what? That place sounds like a fucking shitstorm. Don't ever want to go. Glad I didn't go because I would have been back in jail, and somebody would have been fucking in hell or some way worse. I just don't know. That just sounds fucking terrible. It sounds like y'all would fucking in hell.
That's what it literally was. And at the
We're not
end
talking
of it,
about the town in Texas or Michigan. So.
No.
at the end of it, me and Michael are like, "Well, that was a good experience."
Never.
No. To me, that wasn't even a good experience.
Going to a museum is a good experience.
Yeah.
Or something.
You know,
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
go to the go.
Spent time
somewhere
at
else.
museums yesterday rather than that.
Mike Game wanted us to go to.
Go to the zoo. You know what I'm saying?
Mike
Oh,
Game
man.
decided halfway through, he's
That's
like,
it.
"Screw all this, let's go to the National Wrestling Hall of Fame."
You know what? That place right there was worse than going to a fucking just
Let's
open-handed
hear about these
zoo.
museums you went to.
I'd rather go to
Yes.
a zoo and have a chance.
Let's talk
to
about all that.
Anywho, I better get my keys.
What do we have here with this?
We went